we've been reporting on the blockbuster changes in cable news, and blockbuster is a word here, affecting two of the most high-profile personalities on TV. In a surprise move, Fox News parted ways with Tucker Carlson yesterday. He was the network's most popular primetime host and one of the most influential conservative media voices on the air. Shortly after that, longtime CNN host, that's Don Lemon, says he was fired by the cable news network. Lemon says that he was stunned when his agent broke the news to him. We're joined now by Ben Smith. He's editor-in-chief of Semafor. He's also author of the upcoming book, I love this title, Traffic, Genius, Rivalry, and Delusion in the Billion-Dollar Race to Go Viral. Can't wait to read that, Ben Smith. But for now, let's talk about the big changes in the landscape. We'll start with Tucker first, because they said that Fox says that they had mutually agreed to part ways. That clearly does not seem to be the case. On Friday, he was chomping on pizza saying, I'll see you Monday. And then the removal is effective immediately. Also never a good sign.
Yeah, no goodbye.
No goodbye. So what exactly happened here? I don't think that anybody has been given a reason about why he was let go.
Yeah, I mean, this was a mutual agreement that seems to have played out over about 15 minutes.
Yes.
I mean, it was a rapid mutual agreement. And there's been reporting, that he had been disrespectful to his bosses in emails, that he'd said offensive things about women in emails that have emerged in court. All this stuff was known for a long time. And I think, I was just texting with somebody senior at News Corp. People there don't know what the final straw that maybe last Friday caused the Murdoch family to push him out was.
And they said that it came from the top, that Rupert Murdoch said he's got to go.
I think the company is saying that the official leadership, Lachlan Murdoch and Suzanne Scott, made the decision, but I don't think a lot happens there that Rupert Murdoch doesn't approve. And he's made a series of quite dramatic decisions recently. He called off his engagement a few weeks ago, and and Fox was set to merge with News Corp, and they called that off recently, too.
So what happens to the vacuum on Fox News? Also, were you surprised because Tucker was so powerful and said so many things that he's left to go unchecked for many, many years? What happens now?
I think Tucker was, even in the context of Fox, he was pretty unusual. He was leading sort of a conservative, a right-wing populist movement from inside Fox, where he's out there interviewing, Viktor Orban, the Hungarian prime minister. This wasn't standard issue Republican politics. And I think it likely goes back to something more like, loyal Republican talking heads who are, holding to the party line, who are attacking Joe Biden, but who aren't heading out into the fringe that way.
So where does Tucker possibly go from here, and do political candidates follow him for interviews?
I think political candidates are actually going to be pretty relieved. A lot of Republicans lived in fear of what Tucker Carlson was going to say about them, and also watched his show incredibly carefully for what bill they could introduce the next day to please him. I mean, he was really an entity into his own right, and I think where he goes, there's nowhere like Fox for him. There is, you suggest there are startups. There's the Daily Wire, a conservative startup you could imagine. But I'm not sure anybody can afford a, reported $20 million contract.
Yeah, the Wall Street Journal's reporting.
He was the golden goose there.
Yeah. Why was he allowed to operate that way, Ben, for so long? Because his numbers were so good? It brought in money? Why?
The Murdoch world is pretty unusual. They give people a lot of leeway until they fire them. It's not a tightly run ship. And Fox, in particular, had become a place where the talent, the hosts, just exercised enormous power, and the central leadership, who reported up to a family office, had a lot of trouble telling them what to do.
Let's turn to Don Lemon, who said he was blindsided.
Stunned.
Yeah, he said
stunned.
He's the only one who was stunned.
Right. What do you make of that situation and how he described it in his statement?
Yeah, I think he was. I think probably shocked, but not totally surprised, because he had been. He had had some self-inflicted wounds, but he was also the face of the Trump-era CNN. That was this kind of fighting, anti-Trump outlet that whose new owners had decided basically it had gotten too partisan, were trying to move it back. And Lemon, I think had been doing what his bosses had asked him to do in the Trump era, which was be this, fighting anti-Trump voice. In the new era,
his former bosses
in the new era under new management, was trying to become a cheerful, moderate morning show character.
Was he struggling with that fit?
And it was, and I think that was not the most natural fit for him. But But also, I think they wanted to move on. They wanted to show that they were in a new era of CNN, and he was a sacrificial
Well,
lamb
they
for that
certainly
as
have been
well.
sending that message. Were you surprised that they responded to Don's statement where he said nobody had the decency to tell him, and that they said, oh, no, what he said is inaccurate. He was given the opportunity to talk to management and instead chose to go to Twitter. Were you so surprised that CNN management responded to that?
Yeah, I mean, these are both pretty bitter departures. I mean, there's a, you can let people have a last show and say goodbye to the audience, and neither Fox nor CNN chose to do
Yeah,
that.
that'd be customary, I would think.
Ben Smith, thank you.
Thank you.